Hi everyone, Camilla here. At 28, I quit my corporate job in China with a very stable income. I was renting my apartment alone. It was quite a big apartment. I had a cat, but then everything looked really good on paper. At some point, I realized that the life doesn't have a flavor in it. It's very black and white. Not even black and white. It's very gray. So at some point, I was like, I need to change something. But then I would never really, go for it. And this dream of moving to Singapore was always there for me since 2019. Since I first visited Singapore, I really, really loved it here. And back then, I told myself that there is going to be a day when I'm going to be leaving here, at least for 2 or 3 years, to see how is it here. So, you're living in China, you have this dream about moving to Singapore, but then you never really, do anything for it. I mean, I would apply for jobs, but they would never really reply me because in this economy, no one really gonna relocate you to Singapore unless you're some C-level executive or really, really, really niche kind of talented person. So what happened was that I was working at my company. It was, I think, almost fifth year in that company, and I was super loyal to the company, to be honest. I was damn loyal. 90% of my life was my job. It was like my religion. I would often overwork until 10 p.m., 11, 12, and, kind of like there's nothing else in your life that you can get a validation from. The only thing that you get a validation from is your job. And I think for a lot of females, that's the case, to be honest. And what happened was that I'm not going to go into details, but my loyalty wasn't appreciated. But that was like a very big opening kind of thing for me that, like, oh no, like, I'm leaving here. I'm kind of pausing my dream about Singapore. Yes, I'm getting my salary. Yes, I'm getting my validation in whatever form. But then it looks good on paper, but actually, am I happy? And then when that happened, actually, I was like, okay, if not now, then when? And then I just decided to make the step. So what I did was I applied to a university here. Not even a university, it was like a college, quite affordable college, so I can get a student visa, so I can move to Singapore and be in the market already to look for a job here. And I really did not have any plan Bs. I didn't have a lot of savings. 20K in Singapore is, to be honest, nothing. I thought I will be able to live here for maybe 6, 7 months without savings, but then no. When I actually moved in here, okay, I knew about the rent, but then like the regular groceries or like going out with friends, it's quite expensive compared to Shanghai where I would live before. I was like, oh no, it's gonna be even harder than I imagined, but there's no, way back. So anyway, I'll be very short in terms of what had happened. It took me 9 months to find and land a job. But throughout those 9 months, I would literally use up all my savings. Then I would try to find any kind of job available on the market, just to pay the bills, pay the rent, pay the food. And it was like a side quest, like when you're playing a game and then there's a side quest when you are doing some random shit. And that was me. What I like it, just to tell you guys, what I did was I was a admin in a nail salon with a salary of 900 bucks, Singaporean dollars a month, which is nothing here. But the reason why what I was doing it, because it was like an internship that would provide me a visa after I've completed my studies in that college. So I was working as a nail salon admin for the sake of the visa, after working as a community manager in a gaming industry, and that felt like a downgrade, definitely. But then I always knew, why am I doing it? I always had a vision, that it's a temporary thing, and if it's not, then for definitely I'm not gonna be stuck here for my whole life. It was the hardest thing I've ever experienced because emotionally it was a bit draining, I think, and not because of because you're admin in nail salon now, but because there were some people that I worked with that weren't really into a healthy communication style or a healthy sorry, that weren't like in a healthy communication style. It was a quite challenging experience, but anyway, I did that. I was a social media manager for a tool that helps people do scalping, which is like when you sell and buy cryptocurrencies to make on the differences. And I would work as a social media manager for them. I would run a Telegram channel for a salary of like 500 euros per month, which is nothing again compared for what I would earn back in China. But again, I needed to pay my bills. Then I would work as a community manager for a online casino. Surprisingly, that experience was very nice because like the colleagues, the manager was the best. They were like given me from the heaven. I found them during my most difficult times I've ever had to pay my bills, and but the experience itself was amazing, and I would maybe still work there, but because I there were a lot of things that I couldn't like do at the same time. Like there was a point in my life when I had like 3 jobs at the same time, and that was crazy. So I gave you the context. Then I landed a job after 9 months of job hunting. So I think kind of like the story, right? So like now everything is okay. I'm renting my own place. I'm working. I'm in a long-term relationship now. And for context, back in China, I was single for very, very, very long time. And I even thought like maybe I'm not for a relationship, but I think I realized it is because I was giving so much energy, so much everything of myself to my job that I didn't have anything left for the relationship. And now slowly moving to like 3 top learnings from this experience, and I'm gonna tell more in details in the next episodes, but I think in this video more of if someone also like in this similar situation where everything looks good on paper, and then but there's something that you want to try, but you're damn scared because like everything is good on paper. Like people will think I'm crazy if I'm leaving this behind and moving for something that is even there's no guarantee it's gonna happen. So top learning number 1, there's no guarantee it's gonna happen. There's no guarantee it's gonna happen. There's no guarantee on the timeline how it's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen. And if I look back and I kind of knew all the hardships that I would go through, probably I would say no. Probably I wouldn't dare if I knew how hard it is actually. Well, I would just stay in the same company for another 4 or 5 years. But then when everything looks good on paper but you are not enjoying your life, the emotional state you are in is kind of really gray. The happiness is not really like a happiness. The sadness is really like not like a sadness, because you've been living this good life on paper, but actually inside there's so much things that you are suffocating inside you that your emotions already you're not even letting your emotions out. So one great, it's gonna be hard, but emotionally wise, like there's so much liveliness in that decision, and there's so much liveliness comes when you decide to do that, and then you step forward to that, because it's already like the life is already not just gray or black and white. It's a purple, it's yellow, it's blue. There's so much things, and it's not just gonna be like a great things, right? But it's also bad things as well. But there's so much dimensions to the life, to this life. Once I made that decision and I moved to Singapore, and I would never really, I think, exchange it for anything else, because this is how I learned to cry more. This is how I started even like seeing myself in a relationship. This is how I experienced the warmth of other people, but at the same time betrayals of other people as well. And you know, it is life, and I finally started experiencing it. Learning number 2, one thing I realized, the hardest thing in this life actually, and at the same time it's one that will test you a lot, is building relationship with other people. And I'm not just saying romantic relationship, it's the work relationship, it's the relationship with your parents, it's with your friends. Because I think when I worked in China, I really had my bubble, to be honest. Like all the people that I knew, they know China, they know everything. Like there's so much common things that we can connect on. All my bosses, they were very like educated, and no matter how much gaslighting was there, still they were quite decent people to talk to, you know. But when I moved here, and you know, you suddenly start working in the places that would, and interacting with people that you would never interact with in your normal life, but because you are doing the side quests trying to pay your bills, there are people that are not really in your world, you know. And that was hard. That was quite hard. It was like an eye opening. I was like, oh, so there are toxic bosses. Oh, so there are toxic managers. There are toxic people in general that bully you because you earn really really less than them. And I was like, okay, it's very interesting, but one thing that kept me going was that I knew that it's not gonna be forever, that it's a temporary thing, you know. I knew that the worst thing what I could do, let's say if I couldn't find a job, I would just go back to China and find a job here, because my like I believe that if you made it to a certain place already, you can always make it back, because you know the ways. You already did it. You can do it twice, you can do it 3 times, 4 times. If not this company, another company. If not this position, another similar position. But what I'm saying is that I knew that if I really cannot survive, I can go back. I can go back and start working again. Same company and living my same green zone life. So yeah. So if you have something really really to believe and to look forward to, no matter how much, like if it's really really something that you want to have, no matter how many hardships you're going to go through, I think it will keep you going no matter what. And learning number 3, I think I realized that relationships, like I think before I would be a person more of like I have so much problems in my life already. I don't see a point having another long-term relationship where I'll be drained and I need to accept a lot of things from another person, because there's no perfect person for you, right? So there's a lot of like back and forth, adapting to each other, accepting certain flows, and especially after a certain period when you kind of take off your mask, because I think the first year you're pretty much in your mask, and then when you see the person with all its shadows and you show that person your own shadows, is a different thing, and it requires a lot of energy and effort and commitment to stay. And to me, I know why I did not have this kind of long-term relationships before. That for me, relationships mostly would stay on the surface back in China, because I did not have energy. Like if there's one thing that I don't like in a guy, I would like bye-bye and I would just forget it, to be honest. But when I moved to Singapore and I didn't have a job, yes, there were hardships, but I think in terms of like I was focused on my own life, right? So when I started dating this person, and I don't know, I think it's just I had finally capacity and energy to invest in something when it comes to relationship. So yeah, a lot of things has changed, and I know maybe this video was a very like out of nowhere here and there. But I think my main purpose for this video was just sit and talk with you guys without a script, without ChatGPT, without any of those, but just like let it out. And if any of you guys are in this similar kind of situation and you really know that you'll want it, go for it. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be damn hard. It's gonna be, and then there'll be a lot of times when you'll be like, why did I do that? Why I gave up? But eventually it will lead somewhere that you will think, I know why. And another thing I also want to say, if someone already started this way, if someone already left behind a life that seems good on paper, but actually you're like, really dying inside, there's one, it was actually like a TikTok that I saw, was like the only signal or like a sign that you're on your right path is when you feel like you're lost, when you don't see any path. Is like, because I was stuck, like I'm doing this random crypto thing, that I'm doing this online casino thing, that I'm just like in this, I don't know, like weird renting thing also, like here in Singapore. It was like so many things at the same time. Like I don't see a clear one path. And when I saw a TikTok that said like, actually when you don't see one clear path but having a vision at the same time, that's a sign that you're on the right track. So I hope it helped someone, and I hope that we can continue this series, and I'll be more detailed, I'll be more organized in my thoughts. But today I just decided to do this video, and see you next time. Bye bye.